Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Iowa State football predictions for the 2020 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. I do have a subscriber goal of 500 subscribers, which I'd love to hit by August 29th. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, you will not regret it. And let's jump into Iowa State. Last year, this team lost to Notre Dame in their bowl game. I believe they finished the season 7-6. I would say last year was a bit of a disappointing year. I think some people actually had some expectations on Iowa State. For one, I had them in the Big 12 championship game last year, and I'll admit no one saw Baylor coming. I'll admit that, but I did have some expectations for Iowa State last year, and hopefully this team can at least compete for a Big 12 championship spot. So let's jump into the things I like about Iowa State. Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell is definitely a top 25 head coach. He should probably, I think he's going to get a promotion. When I mean a promotion, he's going to leave Iowa State for a bigger job in the next few years. I think it's coming. He could have left, honestly, probably the past few seasons. He's just looking for probably a good fit for him. But I really do like Matt Campbell. This guy's a very good head coach. I think that's the best thing Iowa State has going for them. Brock Purdy, he comes back for another year. Pretty good quarterback. I think he showed some growth last year. I think we'll continue to see some growth from him. And overall, I do think he'll be a very good quarterback this year for the Iowa State Cyclones. Probably one of the best in the Big 12. Things I don't like, the talent. The talent is just not there to compete with the big boys if you're Iowa State. And when I mean the big boys, Oklahoma and Texas, and even Oklahoma State to a bit of a lesser degree. I think they're a bit more talented than you, at least offensively. Granted, you guys could maybe pull off an upset against them, but if you guys, let's say you beat Oklahoma in the regular season, but then you face them again in the Big 12 championship game, you're not beating them in the Big 12 championship championship game. I can't see Iowa State beating certain teams twice this year. They just do not have the talent. They're a very well coached team by Matt Campbell, and that's why they are where they are right now. 7-8-9 win team. Your three toughest games are Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma and Texas, I think, are probably the top two talented teams you guys are facing. Oklahoma, I think, is a top 10 school. Texas, probably a top 15-ish school. Oklahoma State, I think, is also a top 15-ish school as well. Iowa's a team is one that I consider you haven't beat them in a few years, but I went for Oklahoma State. You get both Iowa and Oklahoma State on the road. And it just really comes down to I just think Oklahoma State's just a bit better than Iowa this year. So that's why I went with Oklahoma State as your third toughest game. Your three easiest games, South Dakota, UNLV, and Kansas. South Dakota FCS school. UNLV, probably I do think they're going to score points this year, UNLV, but they're still one of the worst teams in the Mountain West. And then Kansas, worst team in the Big 12, in my opinion. Your best case and worst case scenario. Your best case scenario is 11-1. I can see 11-1 with the schedule. Granted, you do have to go on the road against Texas and Oklahoma State and Iowa. That's going to be pretty tough to win 2 out of 3 there. I'm going to be pretty honest with you. TCU is also not giving me Oklahoma at home. So that's going to be tough 11-1, but I think you guys can really do it. Your worst case scenario, 6-6. Schedule, I don't think the schedule's that tough per se. But overall, you guys do, I think, could go 6-6. I think there's some tripped up games here, I think Iowa's one. People are high on Texas Tech all of a sudden. I think you guys are better than them. You guys get them at home, but we'll see what happens. At Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Kansas State, I think could be a trip up game, despite getting them on a Thursday. At TCU, Baylor, and at Texas. Those are some trip-up games right there. I see you guys losing some games, possibly only going 6-6, but I do think you guys will make a bowl game no matter what this season. So let's look at the schedule. Here's the schedule right here in front of you. Let's kick it off with week 1 against South Dakota. I think you guys go ahead and beat South Dakota. Don't let what happened last year against your FCS opponent. Last year, you guys faced Northern Iowa, a pretty good FCS school, Northern Iowa, but you guys barely came out there with the win. I was very disappointed in you guys after that game because I thought I had some real expectations for Iowa State last year. and I was really disappointed that you guys came away with an overtime win against Northern Iowa. So hopefully you guys need to blow this team out. In my opinion, South Dakota, they're one of the better FCS schools, but I hope you guys blow them out for your sake. Next game at Iowa. Last year, you guys probably should have won this game, honestly, if you didn't muff the punt. Even though you guys were down by one when you muffed the punt, but who knows? Maybe drive down, kick a game-winning field goal, make it 2018. The game's in Iowa. I know a lot of people are actually picking Iowa State in this one. I just couldn't bring myself to it. I'm gonna go with Iowa at home in this one. Um, primarily because I just think with Iowa being at home, they'll have the home field advantage. I think both of these teams are pretty much even. Some people think that Iowa State's maybe a bit better than Iowa, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Iowa goes ahead and wins this game. I think this game's a pick 'em. So, and I think it might be a top 25 matchup as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Iowa goes ahead and wins that game. Next game, UNLV win. As I said a minute ago, I do think they will score some points on you guys because I think this team's going to be one of the best offenses in the Mountain West. They bring the Oregon OC over, and I think they are going to score some points, but they're still one of the worst teams in the Mountain West. That defense is pitiful. Go ahead, give me Iowa State to go ahead and get the win there. And then you open up conference play. Your first game is Texas Tech at home. Some people are high on Texas Tech. I don't understand why. Some people are picking them to go ahead and upset Texas at home. Some people think this team could actually win 7, 8 games. Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech could compete for a bowl game or compete to get into a bowl game, like try to get to 6 wins, maybe back themselves in. But that's just about it. Iowa State is the better team. I like the direction Texas Tech is going. But I'm going to go ahead, especially at home. I think Iowa State wins this game by about 2 touchdowns. I just think they're the better team. I think Brock Purdy is going to pass 4 passes and score, and the Iowa State offense is going to score points all over this Texas Tech defense. Go ahead, give me Iowa State for the win there. Next game at Kansas. As I said, Kansas is the worst team in the Big 12. It's going to be a very long rebuild there. They do have Les Miles. That's the one good thing for them. But even on the road, I think Iowa State goes ahead and gets this win. I think they blow them out, honestly. So go ahead, give me Iowa State there. They open up conference play 2-0. Next game at Oklahoma State. This game's gonna be a big game. You guys are 4-1 at this point. You're probably ranked. Even though with the loss to Iowa, you guys are probably ranked up with 23, 24 against the Oklahoma State team that I'm really high on this year. The game is in Oklahoma State. If you already saw the Oklahoma State football prediction video, you already know who I have. I gave it to Oklahoma State because it's at Boone Pickens. That's the only reason why. I don't think Oklahoma State is really that much better than Iowa State. I do think Oklahoma State is maybe a bit better than you guys. As a matter of fact, I do think they're a bit better than you guys. But especially with the game at Boone Pickens, I just gotta go Oklahoma State here and go ahead and give you your first loss in Big 12 play, and you guys go ahead and pick up your second loss of the season. So the first 6 games, 4-2, not bad. The 2 losses are respectable losses, I think, in my opinion, because I think Iowa's at least going to be around that 7, 8, 9 win mark. Oklahoma State, I think, is a top 15 team. But at next game, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to be coming off playing Texas. If you saw the Oklahoma video, you already know who I have in this one. Oklahoma is a team, in my opinion. I think they're going to lose a game somewhere this year. And if you watch the Oklahoma video, you already know I do think Oklahoma goes on the road and loses to Iowa State, which means I think Iowa State picks up a major upset win here. And I'm going to go with the upset. Do I think Iowa State's a better team? No. But with the game in Iowa State and Ames, I'm going to go Iowa State. I'm going to go ahead, pick the upset here. I think it's a tight game either way. I think Iowa State gives everything Oklahoma can handle. I mean, last year this game was 42-41. Iowa State could have very easily won this game last year. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go ahead and say Iowa State wins this game for the purposes of this video. Because the goal is not to get the win-loss for each game correct. It's to get the record prediction correct. Then you get your bye week. You wish your bye week was maybe before Oklahoma, honestly, but that's an okay spot to have a bye week. Coming off the bye week, Thursday night game at home against Kansas State. I do not like these weeknight games of Power 5 schools. I just not a fan of them. Kansas State is a team that surprised, I think, a lot of people last year. I think they're going to be kind of similar to what they were last year, like a 6, 7, 8 win team. The game is in Ames. I went ahead and gave to Iowa State, especially coming off the bye. I'm always leery about a team on the road for a weeknight game, and I do think that Iowa State goes ahead and wins this game. I think they're better than Kansas State talent-wise. I think overall they're just a better team. So go ahead, give me Iowa State over Kansas State. Next game at TCU. TCU missed a bowl game last year. I think they are going to bounce back some. I went back and forth with this one. I think this is a 50-50 game. With the game being in TCU, I gave it to TCU. I think you guys go ahead and lose to TCU. TCU is the type of team that could really beat anybody. I believe in Gary Patterson. Zach Evans is going to be the running back there. He's going to run. He's going to run over a lot of Big 12 teams, including you guys. So, and it doesn't matter if you play defense or not in the Big 12. He's just going to run over you guys. Anybody though that plays defense. So I think you guys go ahead on the road to TCU and lose that game. Close game though, but you guys lose. Next game, Baylor at home. Baylor was a team last year. I think they surprised everybody. I don't think anybody would. If you ask anybody before last season, I don't think they would say Baylor would be in the Big 12 championship game. But they were probably a top 15 team. Overall, I do think Baylor, they're going to take a major step back. And with the game being in Ames, I gave it to Iowa State. I think Baylor just takes a major step back. They lose a lot, including a whole coaching staff, which is alarming, especially with the COVID-19, with the uncertainty and stuff. Which, by the way, I do think we're going to play 12 games this year and have a full season. That's why I'm continuing doing these predictions. So keep that in mind. But Baylor, I think you guys go ahead and beat Baylor at home. I think you guys are just better than Baylor. I really do this year. I think you guys are just better than Baylor. So go ahead, give me the Cyclones over the Bears. Next game at Texas. Texas is a team, I think they're a top 15-ish team. I don't know if they're the second or third best team in the Big 12. It's between them and Oklahoma State, in my opinion. The game's in Austin. I gave it to Texas. I think Texas is just a bit better than you guys, especially at home for Texas. This is a road game for Iowa State. I just think Texas is just a bit better than you guys, and I think they're going to get the win. Close game either way, in my opinion, because I do think Iowa State is very capable of going in there and getting the win. But overall, I just feel like Texas is going to go ahead and win this one. I think they'll be a slight favorite because I just think they're a bit better than you guys. But close game, but you guys take the L there. And then your final game at home against West Virginia. I am not high on West Virginia at all this year. I think they have going to be having some quarterback issues this year. I do like their head coach, Neil Brown, but that's really the only thing I like about their team, honestly. I gave it to you guys. I see you guys honestly winning this game at 3 touchdowns, honestly. I'm just not really that high on West Virginia. And I think you guys finished the year with a win, and obviously you're getting to a bowl game here. And overall, if you count up all the wins and losses, I do have Iowa State going 8-4 with a 6-3 conference record. 8-4 with a 6-3 conference record. Overall, that would be that. If you watch all the other Big 12 videos, that's good enough for 4th place in the Big 12. That's what I think of Iowa State this year. I think they're 4th place in the Big 12. I don't think that they're better than Oklahoma. I think Texas is going to beat them on the road. And I just feel like Oklahoma State is just better than them. So I feel like those 3 teams are on a different level than Iowa State. But I think Iowa State is clearly the 4th best team in the Big 12. And that's why I think you guys are finishing the standings. So comment down below. Tell me what you think, Iowa State fans. Anybody who wants to comment down below, tell me what you think about Iowa State this year. I always like hearing from you all. Thanks for watching. Quick announcement before I end the video. I miscount the days. I thought today was Thursday, so I did Iowa State. I thought yesterday was Wednesday, so I did Virginia Tech. I forgot I did Tennessee, which was supposed to be on Tuesday. So that's actually going to be the Thursday video. Tomorrow, Tennessee. Friday's Washington. Saturday's Appalachian State. Sunday is Buffalo. And then starting next Monday, there's going to be some days we'll do 2 a week. So we could get as many teams in as possible. If you have any teams you want me to do, I know we have East Carolina, Arizona, Maryland, Georgia Tech all on deck. If there's any other teams you want me to do, I'll be more than happy to do them. And I believe Liberty's on the deck as well. But thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to your channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. And this is McD the Beast signing off.